Could you please tell me about how can I tell if how can I detect radon in my own home?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a couple different options. Testing is super easy. You can either go to a hardware store and get yourself a do-it-yourself kit. This would be a long-term kit that would do a long-term test. Typically 91 to, 180 days gives you a good snapshot of what your radon levels are. Tests range anywhere from $20 to $60 for these at-home tests. And once you do the test, you ship them off to a lab. The other way is to get a certified professional. I recommend somebody with accreditations in Canada. They should be carrying professional grade short-term tests. So like the ones that we carry at Calgary Radon Detection are good to give you a 90% accurate idea of what your radon levels are in as little as 15 minutes. Super easy. Call one of us out there. We set this up and we can do a test and give you an answer within 15 minutes. Now, I do recommend, with my certification, we are to recommend a long-term test in order to give you a very accurate number. But, it's super easy to find out if you have radon in your property. If we come out there and your levels are sky high with our 15-minute test, we could probably recommend a mitigation system, or I would personally recommend doing a long-term test just to make sure these numbers are correct and accurate. So that's how I would do some testing here.
And do you guys offer the long-term test as well?
Yeah, absolutely. We sell the long-term tests. We can give those to customers. Again, typical tests, depending on which one we want. We have an alpha test and we have a charcoal-based test. And depending on your home, we would recommend the right product for you. Again, typical short-term tests. It's a lot of work for a short-term test, for a long-term test, because we got to come in there, set it up, and then once we're done the test, we got to come over there, seal the test, send it off to a lab, get the results back in, present them to you. A lot of people these days are going with a short-term test. Everyone wants to know immediately what their risk is and what their exposure rates are. And since mitigation isn't that expensive, a lot of our clients are getting us in there, doing a quick snapshot. If the rates are sky high, let's just get a mitigation system in, followed up by an electronic long-term test that we can mount in the house, and that will provide them long-term data and us data. And then we do follow-up tests for quality assurance on their property.